Hey guys, welcome back to Run the Atlas. Today I am live from the Grand Canyon, the South Rim. Just look at this spectacular wonder, billions of years old. And I'm gonna show you the things you need to know before traveling here. I've been here about 4 times total. We drove up from Sedona. We have this park pretty much to ourselves right now, and I'll show you why. Check it out and stay tuned to the end. Okay, so first of all, we are here the first weekend of November, and it is chilly, so you want to bring lots of layers when you're traveling here, because at nighttime it dips down like in the 30s. It's super chilly, there's wind chill, so you want to bring lots of layers, hats, gloves. Summer is peak season for visiting the Grand Canyon, so if you want to avoid crowds and parking issues, definitely visit in the fall or spring. Those are considered the best times to visit the park. If you're visiting in winter, there's pluses and minuses. There's smaller crowds, shorter lines, and magnificent views of the snow amongst the rocks. But you'll also have some slippery and hazardous conditions on the trails, and the North Rim is closed this time of year. So which rim should you visit? Did you know that 90% of visitors visit the South Rim in the Grand Canyon? That's where we're basing ourselves on this trip. It's open year-round, super accessible, there's a free shuttle bus service, there's the historic village with a number of different lodges that you can stay at, and the scenic drive. The shuttle bus has 4 different routes, 3 of which are open year-round, and it makes it easy to get to the different viewpoints. It's also included with park entry. Now for the West Rim. If you want to experience the Skywalk, which opened in 2007, it's actually not in the Grand Canyon National Park. It's located 4 hours away from the South Rim on the Wallapai Indian Reservation. So it's a whole separate entry to get in here. Because of the distance and the admission fee, we did not visit on our trip, but if you have, comment below and let us know how it went. I also want to point out, you can't even see the bottom of the canyon floor from up here. That's how deep this is. It's said to be 6,000 feet deep. There's parts of this canyon where the light doesn't even reach at some parts of the day because it's so deep. It's hard for the sun rays to get down there. Now, time for the best viewpoints. Number 1 is Mather Point, where you can see almost half of the Grand Canyon. This spot is recommended if you don't have a lot of time because it's super accessible. Next is Hopi Point, which we're filming in this video. We found this spot to be rather uncrowded considering it's a magnificent view. Grand Viewpoint is one of the most popular spots for photos and one of the highest points in the South Rim at 7,400 feet. Next is Morin Point, where you can see a little bit of the Colorado River. Next is the Desert View Watchtower, which is a National Historic Landmark built in 1932. It's 70 feet tall and situated right on the rim of the canyon. You can even go inside, and it's designed to resemble an ancestral Puebloan watchtower. At nighttime, you're in for a treat, especially if you like astronomy, because the sky is so dark. This is one of the dark sky places, meaning there's hardly any lights from the ground that can interfere with the night sky. So if you're into taking night sky photos, it's so beautiful. I mean, you can take them with your iPhone even, and I'll show you what mine looked like. But they even have astronomy talks here, which is super cool. They're at the visitor center. Right here below me, you'll see a trail. That is the Bright Angel Trail, and that goes all the way down into the canyon. It descends close to 5,000 feet below. So you can reach the Colorado River down there. But it is not recommended to do it within a day. There are signs everywhere that say do not try it in one day. So be sure to come prepared if you hike all the way down. We made it about a mile down, right to the rest stops, and we could really feel the elevation. It was like doing the stair stepper. Can you spot the restroom? The coolest part about the Bright Angel Trail were the tunnels. There's actually 2 on this trailhead. Oh my gosh. It's crazy how when you hike down the walls of the canyon, now you're looking up at them. It's so cool. It's such a different perspective. In addition to the Bright Angel Trail, the North and South Kaibab trails are also ways of getting down to the bottom of the canyon. So next, let's talk about getting here. We drove from Flagstaff. It took roughly an hour and a half to get here from Flagstaff, so that is a good base camp if you want to drive in for the day. But we ended up staying at one of the lodges within the park, the Maswick Lodge. So it was around $350 a night to stay at the Maswick Lodge. But it's great because you don't need to exit or enter the park. The accommodations here are comfortable but very basic, and the walls are thin, but the accessibility to the park is unmatched. There are a number of other lodges around the same price. The lowest price option is the Bright Angel Lodge. The Grand Hotel is located right outside of the park entrance and is probably one of the nicer, more modern ones. But if you want a throwback hotel, try the El Tovar, which is a historic landmark built in 1905 and the most expensive one in the park. By the way, it cost us $30 for a 7-day park entry with our car, and you have to show them the receipt upon leaving and entering the park. There's a lot of stuff and creature comforts right outside of the park, which is great. There's even a visitor center with an IMAX movie explaining this wonder. There's steakhouses, there's Starbucks, there's McDonald's, there's everything you could possibly need for a trip like this. But right now, I went to the general store and I got myself a sandwich. Speaking of food, where to eat? So the Maswick Lodge came with a food court, which is great if you're in a hurry. But if you want a special occasion dinner, we recommend going to the El Tovar, which has an excellent dining room and views of the Grand Canyon. But you'll need reservations in advance. Otherwise, you can go to the lounge, which has more availability, a full bar, affordable wines and cocktails, as well as a limited menu. We ordered the chili and the Arizona wine, which was surprisingly good. By the way, don't forget to like and subscribe down below. Look at this view. You just can't, wow. This is one of the greatest wonders in the entire world. I've been all over the place, guys. There's people from every country here visiting this, traveling in far and wide. If you're from the States and you haven't been here yet, make sure you check it out. Put that on your bucket list right now. The next thing I want to say is that the flora and fauna here is incredible. We saw a bighorn sheep just perched here looking out onto the mesa rim and the canyon floor. We also saw a mule deer. They have a special kind of deer here. They're very sweet. They have kind of these long ears and they just kind of meander. Behind me you'll see kind of a forested area. That's where they live, and you want to drive really slow when you're here. The speed limit is 25 along the rim because keep a lookout for animals. Being in this national park was like being in a safari, only the USA version. We saw some elk along with a coyote. There was a little debate over whether it could be a gray fox, but we determined it's probably a coyote. And you may want to bring binoculars, especially for the birding here. We saw this beautiful blue western scrub jay. Can you hear that? That's the Grand Canyon Railroad. It runs right through here. How cool is that? And they have special programs during the winter time and Christmas, so you want to check those out. But as I was saying about the hikes, a lot of them are very arduous, especially the ones going down into the canyon and the ones around the rim of the canyon. A lot of them are not recommended to do in one day. So come prepared, bring lots of water, lots of food. A lot of these folks are just kind of dipping in to take photos and come back out. Did you know that less than 3% of Grand Canyon visitors venture below the rim? However, about 100,000 people do make it down to the bottom of the canyon floor, at which you will find the Phantom Ranch. the most exclusive hotel room. Reservations are done via a lottery system on the National Park website. And it's also gearing up for a temporary closure. Speaking of getting to the bottom of the canyon, one of the most popular and historic ways is via the mule rides. Even Teddy Roosevelt took one. They're available via the National Park website, and there's a number of different trips, but you must book in advance, otherwise you may be out of luck. The longest journey is 7 hours, which takes you to Phantom Ranch and is said to be the safest method of getting to the bottom of the canyon, and it's recommended for adventurous travelers. We are walking the Rim Road right here, and we are about a 7,000 elevation up here. So this is the high desert. You can see we're surrounded by some pine trees up here. We feel like eagles up the top of this Rim Road. We're back at our lodge just after a 5-minute brisk walk. And that's the reason why we chose the South Rim, the amenities and the expansive views. We hope that you learned something new on this Grand Canyon tips video, and be sure to like and subscribe for many more travel videos, and we'll see you in the next one.